So obviously, we're in a very interesting time for gaming, Xbox. Things are changing, new leadership. You could say one way or the other whether you think it's a good thing or a bad thing. I think some people are probably undecided. Some people are just going to like Microsoft and Xbox no matter what they do. That's not going to be me, but I did kind of point out a little something that I thought was interesting that a lot of people are kind of forgetting, because there's a lot of people that are just jumping on this chick and like, yeah, she's going to bring Xbox back to relevancy. She's promising to do this, and to me, like, you guys got to understand that when new people come in, like a new CEO or something, they're a lot like politicians. They're going to promise this and promise that, but are they going to deliver? Does she have the authority to deliver? Phil Spencer was literally not just a CEO of Xbox Gaming, but he was literally on the board at Microsoft, right? She's not. So he had a lot of power to do things. He had the power to buy Activision, to buy ZeniMax. I don't think she has that power. I could be wrong. I don't know. We'll see. But there's other things. I know people realize that I'm not a big Phil Spencer fan. It kind of is what it is. Me and him have gone back and forth. I said in 2016 when he put Quantum Break on PC, I said, that's going to kill Xbox console sales. Within a decade, Xbox will be completely irrelevant, and you'll be putting your games on PlayStation and Switch. And here we are. Exactly that has happened. I'm not going to do a victory lap. It is what it is. I just find it funny that this guy who's in the business couldn't see that happening by doing that, right? And not only that, but people that would argue and say, well, it's opened up this and it's opened up that. Has it? I mean, the games that they put on PC haven't exactly lit up the sales. The games that they put on PlayStation haven't lit up sales. You could say that there's a couple outliers there, but 95% haven't done well. So really, you just killed your brand for nothing. And now you have this new lady, she's in there. But I'm going to give Phil a little bit of flowers and say that this is a bit of a warning to see what could happen in the future. So Phil Spencer, obviously Xbox lagging behind in sales. A lot of developers would probably drop the platform. But Phil Spencer was so respected in the industry, and don't kid yourself, he was very respected in the industry, and people looked up to him. He would take trips to Japan multiple times a year and other places to get content for Xbox, right? For a long time there, a lot of content, not just Japanese content, but a lot of content in specific would skip Xbox, and he would kind of work that out. I mean, you guys don't believe it. Part of the reason why PlayStation seems to get much less exclusives is because they get much less Japanese exclusives, because Phil Spencer went over there and talks to talk. He talks to talk. Like, even the stuff like Final Fantasy and all that stuff, he's the guy. So do you really see this woman as somebody who's going to go over there and they're not going to care because she's not a gamer? She doesn't have that respect in the industry. I mean, that's just one of the many things that could kind of come back to bite Xbox in the ass, is the fact that they don't have somebody who has those relationships. And the person that she brought in and promoted, which was Matt Booty, I don't even think he has that relationship. He was never the one to go over to these other places and forge that relationship and kind of make sure that everything was kind of doing well. You know what I mean? So for me, I kind of just look at these things and I say, there's some potential for bad side to happen there. There's a potential for there's definitely a potential there for less support to come to Xbox, and that's something that I feel like people will probably resonate with a bit. You know what I mean? Maybe she'll do a good job. We don't really know, but at the same point in time, we'll have to just maybe wait and find out, how that's going to kind of affect things. So again, I do think we're in a little bit of a different time, a different era. Is she going to go and, reverse courses with some things? I mean, I think you have to reverse courses with some things, right? I mean, obviously, you don't get rid of your long-standing CEO and the person that he was grooming, I guess, to take his place. You don't do that if you're planning on, on kind of doing those things in the first place. So again, it is weird to me that that this stuff happens, but like I said, well, it's almost a wait and kind of see sort of attitude, and we'll have to kind of understand what can be done to kind of salvage Xbox. Obviously, they felt they needed to do something. Those last quarter results that we got from Microsoft were horrible, and they made Xbox look really bad. You know what I'm saying? Because you could sit there and go, oh, well, they just, $5 billion or whatever, but everything was down. Not just hardware as you would expect, but pretty much everything. And not only was everything down, but we were kind of in this weird situation where, like they're raising prices. Like the just confidence around Xbox has got to be at an all-time low. You've got to have probably next to no confidence in, in what they're doing, and that's, to me, is realistically kind of what changes Microsoft from PlayStation, right? Like, if you look at PlayStation, it's like they really messed up this generation, and the only reason that to be honest with you, that Xbox failed the way that it has failed is because they didn't take advantage of Sony's horrible mistakes. Like, any competent leadership would have been able to take advantage of that. Think about it. Like, they haven't come out with hardly any games this generation. It's like they raise prices on the games to start the generation. They've raised prices on the games. They raised prices on PS Plus. They've closed studios. They closed another studio. They really couldn't get out of their own way. And but the interesting thing is, just like how they closed Blue Point Games, and then a day later Microsoft comes and one-ups them in the stupidity department. And I'm not saying Phil should have kept his job. They should have been gone long ago. But you needed somebody. The way that Microsoft needed to do this was to get rid of everybody, right? Not just Phil and Sarah, but also you needed to get rid of Matt and all the underlings, Greenberg, all those guys. You need to get everybody. Bring in a new CEO. Do a big press conference. This is where we stand. We're going to do exclusives. Are we not? Are we going to have hardware? Are we not? Are we, like, these are, like, you have to just get out there and do it that way. Like, that's the way that it would need to do. You have to know where you stand. This just, honestly, just looks like another, like, pivot, and it looks like a pivot to, like, an AI puppet. So, yeah, it's going to be one of those things, kind of, where we kind of look at how things are going or whatever. But yeah, absolutely kind of crazy to see how this stuff can affect gaming long term. But how do you guys feel about that? Do you guys think that she's going to make these trips, or do you think she's going to send somebody, like, and if so, who would she send? Like, who does Xbox have that is respected enough to be sent and to get support? Because otherwise, I mean, with the way Xbox is selling right now, and the fact that we might not even get another Xbox till 2028 or 2029, like, they're not even, I don't even know if they're currently making the current Xboxes anymore. They pulled them out of almost every country, and they hardly sell anymore. I think they sold under 2 million last year, under 2 million the year before for the entire year. That's a pretty low number of consoles. So, I mean, what are they going to do? What are they going to do in the meantime? You can't just like scrap your stuff for 5 years and then come back and be like, hey, we're back. Like, it doesn't really work that way. So, it is kind of unfortunate, that happens. But, again, it's going to do something that's kind of crazy or whatever. So, I would like your guys' thoughts on this. Do you guys think that as a deep warning, or do you think we're going to go back to the point where, Xbox wasn't getting, a lot of these games and stuff? Because I personally think that that's probably a probability, right? Matt Booty wasn't the one having these relationships. It was, if you ever look at, like, any of the Japanese support that Xbox was getting, it was always these guys taking pictures with Phil. And, I think without that, you're really in trouble there. You could see a lot more Japanese support pick up on the PlayStation, where stuff is just going to be exclusive or whatever. That's just an unfortunate thing that could happen, that I would say that's a 75% probability. So, I don't know. What do you guys think about it? Let me know. I certainly appreciate you guys watching. If you guys do enjoy the content, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. It helps everything tremendously. I appreciate y'all. Rack 'em up, back them up, crap gamer 'em up. Hope you guys all have a great day. Go USA. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Let's get some of that stuff done. Have a great day. Crap Gamer out.